Welcome back from the break, and you're still watching Smart Mains Business. It is officially 8 o'clock. As we're rushing into 8 o'clock now, remember to invest in government bonds today, and remember to keep start of your investment journey into Uganda's financial markets by using the Zabo platform. Zabo is giving you that advantage for you to at least quickly invest in the government bonds at the end of it all. All you need to do today is quickly kickstart off that of your journey of investment and investing in bonds, investing in other products, available securities, and selling of shares as well. Zabo gives you the advantage. All you need to do is register with your name, and in the next 24 hours you'll be able to invest in. If you want to buy a bond as well, what you need to know is the minimum amount is 15,000 Ugandan shillings, but also the opening time is 8:15 a.m. and closing time is 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Note that Zabo's markets are open every day, Monday to Friday, only closed during public holidays and on weekends. Zabo, my money, my future. All Tech East Africa, do something new. And now let's get into our motivation and inspirational hour as we kickstart off with our business tip of the day. And the business tip of the day . Now the business tip says 20 years from now you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did. So throw off the ball lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sales, explore, dream, and discover. That is what the tip is saying. So 20 years from now you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did. So throw off the ball lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sales, and explore, dream, and discover. So those are some of the things that you need to know at the end of it all, according to this particular one. That take your time to discover new things and make sure that you will be a part of that particular journey, according to what the business tip is actually saying. Now, besides that, let's get our business quote this morning. And the business quote says, logic will get you from A to B, imagination will take you everywhere. That is the business quote of the day, that logic will take you from A to B and imagination will take you everywhere. So logic will limit your potentials, but if you imagine yourself somewhere or doing something, you will be able to execute it fully. And that is it for our business quote this morning. Now, besides the business quote, we're getting into our social media trends. Now, just last week, Uganda National Examinations Board did release the PLE results, or the primary leaving examination results, giving room for parents to seek for vacancies of their students in different secondary schools. But the issue was, among us the key users on social media, is that the argument was, what does UNEB determine as failure? Is it failure to get a certain mark that was put aside, or does it mean that a child has completely failed, having failed to at least meet a first or second grade in the primary leaving examination? This has left many children depressed, and this is what social media had to say in regards to this. And among others, we start off with a tweet from Samson Kasumba Mulu at Samson Kasumba saying, I shall take the UNEB exams very seriously the day when those who score 4 in 4 at PLE or 8 in 8 at O level or triple A's in A level start leading manufacturing and job creation. I meet people like the Laos, the famous fresh juice chap at events, who's not one of these. He employs many. So according to Samson, with that particular statement, you get to realize sometimes these results do not determine the fate of someone's success. Computer Boy, Lenovo 11th General.Intel RI5 at 01 Semo with a tweet that you name after each P7 pupils loading 500 to see results. This one was apparently trying to say that once results are in there, there's a way UNEB is getting money from it. Now, Kamwesi at Kamwesi _ says newspaper companies during the release of UNEB exams, and because they do make some good money out of that, students rush in to at least go and make some money by having their faces in print media. Simon Kagwanjala with a tweet that this at UNEB _ UG grading system of grading our children is cruel and pointless. Imagine a child being branded a failure simply because he didn't cram well or hakasasi. The earliest we bin it, the better. So this one is actually saying the grading system is actually more depressing than it should be. Then Peter Kugonza says, I wonder why people downplay the importance of UNEB and its examinations whenever they release the results. Okay, let's close UNEB and concentrate on learning skills without exams to worry about. We then wait and see how that works. Epi Kugonza with his own opinion in regards to how people downplay the importance of UNEB and its examinations. So he does say if we scrap off the exams, let's wait and see. Scene at Pulse Stores UG at Mr. Scene01 says that after celebrating, we should embark on a journey to train kids that UNEB results are never a measure of how someone will be successful in life, but discipline, talent, and vocation skills can take you quite far. So this one is trying to fill in for the students who feel depressed with that. Gertrude Mutiaba with a tweet that, dear at UNEB _ UG, parents of Bright Grammar Primary School, Masaka, seek to know what is delaying our results because the invoice of 50,000 was paid and we don't know what is delaying you, yet other exams were released. We are closely following what is taking place. At Hanifa Namuwonge, at Honorable Sembija, among those that were tagged in that particular tweet by Gertrude Mutiaba, who, among other parents from Masaka's Grammar Primary School, are seeking to know when their children's results will be released later. Now, Tugume at Teacher Tugume, lastly with social media trend, says, if you've been paying over 1 million fees for your child in primary school, there is no need to celebrate first grade. You did the ground leveling for your child. She or he did over 10 sets of P7 mocks in preparation for UNEB. And some of those schools have examiners on the staff. So it was like you've paid for that success yourself. It should not be worth celebrating. This is according to Teacher Tugume. Good, it's coming in from a teacher anyway. And you never know what his intentions were by putting it up there. But that is what he had to share in regards to why parents should not be celebrating these particular results in that space of UNEB exams. And now, like I said earlier on, in regards to the issue to do with the revenue collection and mobilization in Uganda, we now take our eyes to the Uganda Revenue half-year performance statistics that were released by the taxman. This particular report exhibits the impact of policy and administrative measures on the collection of revenue, providing critical insights into the state of the nation's financial structure. Now, when you look at the target for July to December 2022 was 11,764.83 billion Ugandan shillings, representing a 46.78% of the annual target. Now, the net revenue which was collected was 11,670.03 billion, representing 46.40% of the annual target, which was made by the Uganda Revenue Authority. So there was a little bit of a slight increment in tax mobilization according to tax collection rather. That is according to the performance overview from the Uganda Revenue Authority. Now let's move further with more coming in from there as well. Now the sectorial contribution to revenue in last 6 months, you get to realize that the wholesale and retail trade sector contributed 27.68% of the revenue that was collected. Then the manufacturing sector came in second with 22.67%. And with the 27.68% of the wholesale and retail trade sector takes you back to the discussion we had yesterday, where we had to realize that the informal sector is still playing a pivotal role to Uganda's economy. And despite the fact that some of the other people tend to evade the taxes. Now, coming in at number 3 in regards to the level of sectorial contribution to revenue in the last month, you get to realize that the financial activities took up 10.27%, that is of the financial activities. Then when it comes to the ICT, the information and communication sector contributed to 6.92%. Then lastly, from the contribution, that was the public administration, defense, compulsory social security, for example, the NSSF and all those compared into that, investing and all those things, contributing 3.81% of that particular contribution to revenue in the last 6th month of the year of 2022, according to what the Uganda Revenue Authority had to apparently reveal in that space. Now, furthermore, a breakdown of domestic revenue collections in July to December financial year 2022-2023. The pay-as-you-earn payee at least took over, in regards to collections in billions, took over 1,972.06 billions. Then VAT, the value-added tax, 1,590.55 billion shillings. Local excise duty with 919.61 billion. Withholding tax with 628.93. Then corporate tax 887.47. Non-tax revenues 721.99. Treasury bills by the Bank of Uganda 281.19 billion Ugandan shillings. Now, tax on bank interest, withholding, and the Bank of Uganda 58.71 billion. Rental income tax 97.17 billion. Casino tax 45.58 billion. Presumptive tax 5.45 billion Ugandan shillings. Now, the gross domestic revenue collections from July to December 2022 were 7,470.03 billion Ugandan shillings, which is against a target of 7,450.71 billion shillings, resulting in a surplus of 19.32 billion Ugandan shillings. Now, lastly, still with the breakdown of the performance of the revenue this time around. Now, we lastly look at the breakdown of the customs revenue collections. The gross international taxes collections from July to December of last year were $4,453.85 billion, which is against the target of 4,563.95 billion. Now, this represents a performance of 97.59%. Now, breaking it down here is that the taxes on international trade were around 4,453.85 billion shillings. Then value-added tax on imports was 1,761.51 billion shillings. Import duty taking over 839.80 billion shillings. The searches on imports 136.08 billions. Excise duty 131.37 billion. Now, withholding is 103.01 billion. Then temporary road licenses with 68.91 billion. Now, the infrastructure levy worked out with 60.29 billion, and then the export levy working out $7.73 billion in that space. So there you have it when it comes to the performance of the taxman as of 2022, or the first half of the year of the financial year 2022-2023 in that space. Now, well, furthermore, as we continue to give you more updates regarding the URA half-year performance, 39 cases were in favor of Uganda Revenue Authority, with 80 cases which were over $98.4 billion of recovery were being closed off. Now, there's also there's a push from the Revenue Authority to ensure that tax education and sensitization has to be prioritized to achieve tax compliance. Let's get more from the Uganda Revenue Authority Commissioner General John Musinguzi Rojoki.
Was recovered from tax dispute resolution mechanism against a target of 40 billion. Litigation. Cases, 39 cases in litigation were ruled in favor of URA. 12 cases were ruled in favor of taxpayers. We had 24 convictions. Split decisions were 3, and withdrawal in favor of URA were 15, and settlements of consent were 39. The table can show those figures so that we move quickly. The next intervention was in tax investigations, compliance activities. The investigations divisions utilized several compliance enhancement measures, including intelligence gathering, investigations, information sharing, scientific analysis, and forensic document inspection to detect, prevent, and deter tax fraud and systematic non-compliance tendencies. As a result of these efforts, 80 cases involving 98.84 billion in recoverable revenue were closed during this period. And the table shows the breakdown of cases as well as the figure of the revenue identified. 80 cases, 98.8 billion identified. Intervention number 7 was the implementation of IFRIS and DTS. URA has been able to onboard new taxpayers and enhance taxpayer declarations due to the implementation of the DTS, otherwise known as Digital Tax Solution or STAMPS. There are 957 clients now on DTS register, representing 751 manufacturers, 260 importers. More inspections are being performed to bring in more customers, and this will lead to increased local excise duty collections. Also, the adoption of electronic physical receipting and invoicing solution has increased VAT compliance and enhanced taxpayer declarations. Additionally, URA is now better equipped to verify taxpayer declarations and rectify any discrepancies it uncovers. As of 31st of December 2022, the total IFRIS register stood at 57,588 taxpayers, 31,890 being VAT registered, and 24,455 not VAT registered. But effective tomorrow, February 1st, 2023, we are launching the deployment of IFRIS app on desktops. That means people without the automated accounting systems or without the electronic physical devices can as well get on IFRIS as long as they have a computer. So this will greatly enhance the rollout of IFRIS, and also we are developing a mobile app, meaning even that those without computers can as well deploy IFRIS on their smartphones. These two initiatives will help us move fast on the rollout of IFRIS. Outlook for the second half year. This is the current half year that we are in, from January to June. The revenue target for the second half year is 13,386.74 billion. 13,386.74 billion, which accounts for 53.22% of the annual target of 25.151 trillion. is tax education and sensitization. We are continuing with the rollout of a holistic approach to tax education that teaches taxpayers about their rights and responsibilities, tax laws, opportunities of compliance, and the consequences of non-compliance. This will be achieved through continued taxpayer engagements, sector-specific outreach programs, dynamic communication platforms such as TVs, radios, stations, and tax barazas. The mobile tax office to Jenge Uganda buses have also proved to be very helpful, and we'll continue this approach. We hope to get 2 additional buses so that we have 4 to cover the 4 regions of Uganda. Continued rollout of technology and use of data in revenue collection. We will continue the rollout and support of key technology initiatives, mainly IFRIS, DTS, non-intrusive inspection, automated integrated warehousing inspection management system, otherwise called WIMS, rental tax compliance system. All these initiatives will help us continue the improvement of tax collections, but also to close some of the revenue leakages. The analysis and use of data that we generate internally and data from third-party sources will also continue, and this analytic use of data will guide all our decision makings going forward. The third initiative is continued skilling of our staff and monitoring of performance management and integrity enhancement. We shall continue and we shall intensify our staff skilling programs in all the technical and soft areas of taxation. We will also establish, we have already established, but we'll continue the rollout of a new performance management system and zero tolerance culture to corruption. All these initiatives have already been rolled out, but will continue to be ingrained in our processes until they become part of our new culture. Indeed, shortly today, later today, I'll be launching our new client relationship management system. This is a tool that will help us improve our client dialogue, build a high-performance organization, but also enhance a culture of accountability and integrity, as we'll be explaining later. Number four, we will continue the stakeholder collaboration and engagements. This is with the business sector, the civil society, the religious and government leaders, and all other stakeholders to harness each other's strengths in attaining our targets, sharing of information, systems integration, and capacity building in all our areas of collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, revenue mobilization requires all hands on the deck and every Ugandan pulling in one direction by contributing their fair share of tax. As we start the second half of this financial year, I call upon all our valued taxpayers, members of the media, and all the key economic players to join us in mobilizing the remaining revenue for our national development.
All right, and that is something that you should be able to understand about tax education and sensitization that URA has continued to actually carry on. Earlier on, we were just looking at the breakdown of how the various sectors contributed and performed in the last financial year. That is, in the current financial year, the first quarter of the financial year, first and second quarters. But regardless of that kind of situation, we shall be giving you more updates on the performance until the end of the financial year still. And then remember, it is very vital to develop Uganda together with the taxman by remitting the taxes and paying them in before due time. And you're still watching Smart Means Business. After the break, we shall be returning with sports business and the latest from the entertainment business. But as I'm signing out, the markets are officially open on the Zabu platform. So you should be able to think of how to invest in these government bonds today. The USSD code is *292#. Use that code, open up an account today, start up one with just using your NIN, and in the next 24 hours, you'll be able to invest in government bonds and definitely kickstart off your investment journey. Markets open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Do remember that that is something that you should be part of everyday investing and making sure that you grow your investments with Zabu. Zabu is a platform by Altex East Africa, and it's giving you that advantage to grow with the Uganda's financial market space. Markets are only fully closed on weekends and on public holidays. Zabu, my money, my future. Altex East Africa, do something new. When I do return after the break, I'll be bringing you the latest from sports business as Barija Andrew gives you the latest details from the entertainment world. Good morning.